So I watch a show for little girls called My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. So I'm going to talk about some of the physical impossibilities in the show. I know everybody's probably thinking the same exact thing, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page before I start doing this. So why? It's what's on your mind. So here's the reasons. The show is awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. And
yes, it's awesome.
no, it is not. The animation is fantastic. You can't just assume things. That'll get you nowhere in life. So anyway, because this show doesn't give me the direct information, I had to assume a lot of things. So in this scene, there's a Pegasi. Her name is Rainbow Dash. She's really cool. She's trying to save her friend who's falling to her death. Sounds pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually have to hook up the speakers real quick, so forgot to do that. Let's do this. Go, please. There we go. Alright, so she's accelerating really fast. So what was wrong with that scene? I said that she was accelerating too quickly, not to mention the fact that there was like a giant rainbow explosion. Now, before I go anywhere, this was called a sonic rain boom in the episode. So it implies it's a combination between a sonic boom and a rainbow. But a sonic boom and a sonic rain boom show very different properties. For example, I noticed there was a mock cone forming around a Rainbow Dash before she actually hit the boom, which usually happens after the sonic boom in real life. Plus the fact that there's a rainbow tail, rainbow explosion, all that. So this is, and also I found this formula. Sine of theta of the Mach cone is equal to the velocity of sound over velocity of object, and I also use kinematics to disprove this. So this is what I'm talking about. See that cone around her? That's what I thought to be the Mach cone, because it gets smaller and smaller as she gets faster and faster, which is like the properties of a real Mach cone, except in real life it's not visible. But anyway, I measured it and it would be 12 degrees. So I plugged that into the calculation. I assumed that the velocity of sound is 340. I found out she was going 1,635.31 meters per second. And over a time of 15 seconds, she was accelerating at 109 meters per second squared, which is about 11.1 Gs. And so the conclusion is that 11.1 Gs could be deadly if it's applied for a minute or so. That's the limit for humans. I don't know what it is on ponies though, but I'm not sure if it's been tested on ponies. However, I still think that 1.1 Gs for about 15 seconds could cause blackouts or some bodily organs to fail. But in that clip, that didn't happen, so I said that was physically impossible. So I rated that scene an XP for dangerous acceleration, flying ponies, and breaking the light spectrum. So how can we fix this? She could have accelerated at a lower rate, but that might have caused the death of her friend. That would have been unfortunate. Probably the best one is that the animators couldn't have animated the Mach cone, so I couldn't have done this. I know it's more of a joke one, but it's technically true. But in the end, there's nothing really that she could have done to keep herself and Rarity safe while still being physically correct. So yeah, that was that scene. So this one, in this scene, it's really short. Basically, one of the ponies jumps off a platform, and she hits, and another one flies up. You'll see. She flies really far. So that's what I said was wrong. She launched way too high. I proved this using conservation of momentum. So the well, first of all, I'll assume that Applejack and Rainbow Dash, that's her, by the way. I said that they share the same mass, or at least their masses are very similar. And so then I could say that the velocity that when she jumped off was almost directly transferred to Rainbow Dash. But so in conclusion, Rainbow Dash would have launched just as high, or if not lower than Applejack's initial position. However, it's possible that Rainbow Dash's side of the seesaw pushed her a little bit higher since it went like this, but not significantly higher. So I rated it RP because she created energy, but there may be several explanations. It's possible that Rainbow Dash was actually had a much lower mass, so since she was much lighter, she could have flown up like way high. Applejack might be composed of dark matter. I like to believe that one the most, actually. The seesaw couldn't contain invisible thrusters that thrusted her in the air, but a more realistic solution, Applejack could have just jumped out from a much higher distance, but that'd probably be unsafe. Anyway, the last scene I like to call the butterfly defect. One of the ponies is falling. They fall all the time. She's falling, and then she gets saved by a group of butterflies that catch her in midair. So what was wrong with that? Obviously, she lands safely on a group of butterflies. So for proof, I said there's like a normal force that they had to be pushing up, or Newton's third law. So this one's a bit more there's more calculations to it and assumptions. So first, let's find the mass of a pony and a butterfly. So in the scene, Fluttershy is a young filly, which I estimated to be about 275 kilograms, using the mass of a full-grown horse and the mass of a newborn. I just averaged them. And then the mass of a butterfly on average is about 500 milligrams, or 0.0005 kilograms, and I also said the average length of butterfly is about 1 inch, so I use that length to use a, if you can see right there, there's a little square, I use that as like the measurement tool to find out what the area was underneath her, of butterflies carrying her. So I used that scale to find that the area underneath her was 7 inches by 12 inches in height and width respectively. And then I assumed that her body is cylindrical, so since it was 3 inches tall, then the depth of the area is 3 inches. So that would be an area of 252 inches cubed. The area of butterflies under Fluttershy is 252 or 252 butterflies, but I don't think that butterflies are exactly 1 by 1 by 1 inch. I think in that area you could probably put like 2 butterflies because of their shape. So I just multiplied it by 2 to get 504 butterflies. And if each one is 0.0005 kilograms, then the area has a mass of about 0.252 kilograms. Also, the force of her falling would have been 275 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second, or 2,695 newtons. So in conclusion, in order to produce an upward force of 2,695 newtons, the butterflies would have had to have an upward acceleration of 10,694.4 meters per second squared, which is about 1,000 Gs. That's kind of impossible. So I rated that an XP for pony levitation and disregard of Newton's third law. So how could we fix this? The butterflies could have been made of dark matter and may have enough mass to push her up with just a small acceleration. She could have been more careful and not fallen off a cloud, because that's what happened before. She could have packed a parachute, but hooved animals tend to have trouble opening parachutes. That was a difficult test. It didn't work well when I tried it. Overall conclusion, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is rated XP for sonic rainbows, creating energy, pony catching butterflies, and breaking the visible light spectrum, not to mention the fact that ponies are able to talk, some can fly, and some can perform magic. Now, when I say that some can perform magic, you're probably thinking, oh, well, of course, ponies can levitate. Of course they can, go faster than, the speed of sound and break through light or something. But magic is also physically impossible, so go figure. Anyway, that's it.
I was.